welcome to Solve This Murder. I'm your detective, Bill.
And I'm your crime scene criminal and witnesses, Dani. We're on part 3 of the chocolate box.
In part 2, I found an old discarded chocolate box. This one with a blue base and a pink lid.
We also learned that John Wilson's heart medication came in the form of small chocolate-shaped tablets, which could be the means of murder.
I also interviewed Monsieur de Saint-Alard, who seemed generally amicable towards the deceased, but did have an empty bottle of these trinitrine tablets in his jacket pocket.
You're almost there.
Dani, okay, we did this day before yesterday? It hasn't been that long.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the last thing you said to me was, maybe you're
one
like
more
a conversation from the end.
and then I think you're ready to wrap up.
Am I? What do I?
This is always the way. So honestly, I find it the best in these when we get told, all right, cool, and now you've got everything, and you panic. That's so much fun.
What is up with these chocolate boxes and their different tops and bottoms? Why has someone swapped the lids of them? But then I just don't get it. Okay. What do I know? I know that, let me do my little summary to myself and to you, audience. I know that Paul Deroulard is dead. He was a politician about to inherit power.
Mm-hmm.
He hated the church.
Mm.
Women loved him.
Mm.
On the basis of women that love him, it seems no one in the house loves him except for Virginie, who's clearly got a big crush on him. And then there's suppose the idea that maybe somewhere along the line there's you slept with my wife, or my wife slept with you, which are very different things. So that's a possible motive, but I haven't really seen anything there, unless it's all about Wilson back in England. We became friends because he had sex with every woman I ever knew, and I didn't like that, so I've come to kill him with my own medication. I don't know. I know that there are always chocolates in the study. New ones come in when the old one is running low, and that happened on the morning that he died. I know that the dinner was not a source of poison.
Didn't seem like that was possible, no.
Everything was communal.
Mm-hmm.
If you poison one, you poison all.
Yeah, if the chocolates were not the mode of murder, look, it would be a great twist, but
maybe that was Poirot's mistake.
Not one that I see coming at this point.
Especially because I've now figured out that there is in the house a bunch of chocolate-shaped chocolate medicine balls that if you eat them will cause you to die the way he died. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be the way he died. So he died because of John Wilson's Pilsons.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do I necessarily know they were definitely John Wilson's that I've seen? I know that he has heart medication. I know that a local chemist... No, they said they filled it out for John Wilson, right?
Well, they didn't go to into that much detail because of confidentiality, but it could be worth confirming.
They were picked up... Did the chemist say they were picked up by a young woman?
Yeah. For the household.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, that could be anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So, I also know that John Wilson accused Felice of taking his medicine, and she said, breaking his medicine, like somehow getting, because, I don't know, the bottle was missing. It ended up in someone else's coat pocket. And she said, no, it wasn't me, it was Jeanette.
Well, it was probably Jeanette.
And Jeanette said, whatevs.
No. Yeah, she said no.
So, a bottle went missing. I know where it ended up, in the jacket pocket of a guy. Now, he is famously and demonstrably flighty and unfocused. You could just put a bottle in his pocket. He might just pick up a bottle and go, oh, interesting, and put it in his pocket and then forget that he's done it. He may have used it to poison someone and then forgotten to get rid of the evidence. But he has the bottle and the bottle is empty. But he doesn't, and even though he has, ideally some motive of I hate this guy's policies and I love the church, he weirdly didn't seem very worried about it. He wasn't
I believe he put it as, this is the best position to be in, a position where you can argue with someone to change their mind.
Yeah. So, the pure gut part of me, with no logic yet, says, oh, well, obviously Virginie did it. She might have loved him, and that feels like you might murder someone because there's an emotion involved. She is a young woman. She could have picked up the pills. All these things. She's the one who likes chocolates. So maybe she buys the chocolates. She's the only other
person in the house that eats chocolate.
Yeah, right? She didn't get poisoned by the chocolate. Why not?
Well, she wasn't there.
No, she wasn't there. Well, she wasn't in the room.
No, she went upstairs.
And what is up with these swapped boxes? Why swap the tops before you throw them out? That's crazy. Why not just move some chocolates across? I don't get that. So what happened there? It's clearly an action has happened, but no part of my brain can figure out what the meaningful, what the result of the action was. So I know I've done this so much, but I need to think through what happens. Let's say on the basis of I've got a bottle of pills that have chocolate poison, right? I have a bottle of chocolate poison, and I think to myself, I want Paul Deroulade to die from this chocolate poison. Let's say I think that. What's the situation I'm presented with? I go into the study early. There are 2 chocolate boxes. One is pink, and it is full. Full of chocolates, new, fresh, unopened, pink chocolate box. I also see there is a blue chocolate box, which has a few left, just a couple left. And I think to myself, I want to make sure he eats this poison. What am I doing? What would I do? Let's ignore what happened. Let's think what I would do. I want to make sure he eats this poison. 2 chocolate boxes reduces my capacity to know he will eat from one, but the one that was left is full. Okay. I also want people to not realize that the chocolate was poison. So if there's a full box at the end, I'll feel good because it will mean no one will suspect the chocolate was poison because he didn't eat any of the chocolate. Oh, look, the evidence shows he didn't eat any chocolate. This is a full chocolate box. So I take the old chocolate box to force him to eat from the new chocolate box. I remove a few chocolates from that chocolate box, the new one, and I put them in the old one for safekeeping. I then put my poison in his chocolate box, but then he might not pick it. How many pills in a bottle? Do I know?
Oh, we discussed that and we ended up on, say, maybe 28.
But how many chocolates in a box?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But you would need 20 or I think 10 to 20 tablets, you were told, would be the lethal dose.
Oh, interesting. How many chocolates does he eat? That's a lot of chocolates to expect a man to eat.
I think that what we're going with is they are really tiny tablets, more than they are really spread out.
So can I put a bunch of them into a single ball of chocolate?
You could probably stuff a fair few into a single chocolate.
So I take chocolates, I stuff a bunch of tablets in, but I want to make sure these are the ones he eats. So do I put them as the remaining chocolates in an almost finished box?
Well, how would you, if you had 2 boxes of chocolates?
You would finish off the old box before you start the new one.
You're not a crazy person.
Yeah. So you replace all the chocolates in the old box with new chocolate that is poison, so that he will eat them first by finishing off this box before he starts the new one.
Replacing with new chocolate is a curious.
Well, you just shove them into the chocolate.
Yeah, you are adjusting the existing chocolate.
Yeah, you stick them into the existing chocolates.
You are assuming that some sort of swap took place because of the lids being swapped.
No, I was just trying to word getting the chocolate in. I was still thinking of swapping out individual chocolates for individual pills, but no, you stick them in the existing chocolates. Why do the lids of these boxes? Because that wouldn't necessitate any swapping of lids. I would take the old box, I would take the lid off, I would stick the chocolates in the old chocolate, put the lid back on, stick it there, be like, eat this, idiot. And then he would eat it, and then he would die.
Very true.
The only person who showed any signs of being slightly colorblind was Monsieur de Saint-Alard, which makes it even more likely. He's currently got the murder weapon and the condition that would have him accidentally swap the lids of these chocolate boxes when finagling them. Maybe he just did it. And maybe he's lying about being fine morally. Maybe he's like, I'll just say this to cover my tracks. Better kill this guy I hate. Haven't you heard I love the church and hate this guy? Believe that instead of me. But then, who's the girl who picked up the chocolates, and when did he steal them? When would he have had the opportunity to steal these things from Joe Wilson?
Billy, this is a very interesting thing because I want to interject with something that is going to shift your path a little bit, but I feel it's incredibly valid to say is right now, you are Poirot.
Oh, really? I'm making Poirot's mistake?
You
Damn it!
have followed Poirot's train
perfectly. This is exactly what he was thinking?
Remarkably
but Dani,
so.
all I know about Poirot is that he failed.
he has directed himself to, it has to be a lard, right? No, this doesn't feel right. And also, he never figured out the chocolate box swap.
Really?
That is where Poirot...
So I'm as smart
figured
as the
this
greatest
out.
detective in the world,
Right
and you're
now.
asking me to be smarter.
Yep.
That's what you're saying to me. You're saying, hey, Bill, you've cracked this case in the way that the best detective in history, he's not in history, has ever solved it and would do, but you got to be one step better.
Feels good, doesn't it?
No, it feels terrible because I can't be better than this. I'm as good as I should be. His mistake was trusting Allard in any way. Don't talk to him. Don't think about who he is as a person. That's Poirot's classic mistake. He's always thinking about who people are as people. Just ignore it. Go based on the evidence. Throw him in prison. I'll get him in the box. I'll make him confess. Because of the evidence.
And then you'll get
that
a promotion
supports
no matter what.
it. No, I won't get a promotion. They never reward the boys in homicide. They'll just keep on keeping on. They won't even let me take a sergeant's exam. What the hell? Okay, so I'm Poirot right now. And then Poirot, what, arrested Allard and moved on with his life and then failed?
No, it was explained for him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, by who? A better detective.
By the murderer.
By me. Okay, so I have now solved it insofar as Poirot has solved it, but I must be wrong. Because I don't trust it. Because he didn't seem right. So the swap is irrelevant. The chocolates are irrelevant. He got stabbed. Did I check for the body for stab wounds? What if he just got stabbed in the heart?
Good point. Real sudden, real weird that Wilson and Allard didn't notice.
The doctor stabbed him in the heart. Everybody did it. And then he learned his lesson and he went and he solved the other one.
Well, like I said, I still think there is a conversation that needs to happen.
I'm going to talk to Virginie.
Okay.
Haven't spoken to her since the start.
Yeah, that's true.
Haven't spoken to her with any of this newfound information.
She comes out of a room upstairs. I don't remember where we physically were at the end of the last episode. At the chemist, maybe?
Yeah, something like that. I was on the phone on a trip back to Belgium.
You come back. Yes, have you figured it out?
Listen. That's a fair question. I think I've almost figured it out, but nothing
amazing.
makes sense.
Stay
it's a mystery.
for as long as you need, maybe.
Okay, I have some questions for you. You're not going to like them.
Oh, okay.
Women love your cousin-in-law before he died. You seem to be one of them. What's up with that?
I don't know what you mean.
You obviously have a big crush on this guy.
He was cool. He was he who had the way with words.
Cool.
He was, yeah.
Do you ever think
liked him.
ever think about marrying him?
I mean, no. We're not related, but a little weird, no?
You were the one in the first episode who said it wouldn't be weird.
Did I?
Yeah, I said this seems weird, and you went, no, he's my
no,
cousin's.
I mean legally it wouldn't be weird.
Nothing's
Because-
legally weird.
Look, yes, he was married to my cousin, and I was quite close with my cousin.
Did he kill your cousin?
What?
Listen.
No,
Virginie, I'm just.
no, it was a
How did
tragic
your cousin die?
She fell down the stairs.
She fell down the stairs
Yes. Tragic.
in this house.
Yes. Oh, ooh, creepy.
She fell down the stairs.
Yes, absolutely.
Were you there when it happened?
No, of
Was
course
anyone
not.
there
It
when
was
it
years ago. Yes, it was. Whole family was there, I believe. Yeah, Paul was there. His mother would have been there, and presumably Denise and Francois was there.
Okay. What if
I
she?
don't understand. That was nothing. That
but-
was tragic.
Okay, what if it was something and she's found out that he actually killed her by pushing her down the stairs, and to get revenge, she's poisoned his chocolates? Hey, you like chocolate?
Yes, I love chocolate.
You seem to be the only other one in this house who does.
You see, I had so much in common with him.
Did you eat any of the chocolates in his study?
No, I was never in his study.
Do you buy the chocolates?
No.
Do you have any real interaction with the chocolates in this house?
No, I mean, if you offered them to me, I would take them, but these chocolates, I know that Paul ate them after dinner, but not with me. I didn't go there. I was upstairs with Madame.
Upstairs with Madame. Do you ever go out and buy things for the house?
No, that is not my job.
Okay.
I don't work while I am here.
All right, that's fair. And And what does this piece of paper say? For people playing along at home, this is the pink piece of paper
"You suck."
in which I've written "You suck" in a blue marker.
And they start to wonder.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're right. I did not love those questions, but sure.
I'm clutching at straws here. Do you have any straws I could clutch at? Okay. She fell down the stairs. Is that a new motive? You killed this woman? You killed my cousin? I'm going to ask... No, I'm not going to ask his mother. She's not going to be like, yes, my son loved to kill his wife.
Sure.
Who else would in here? Denise and Francois. Denise doesn't seem to like him. I go back to the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Denise.
I will save you some time with this. The Francois and Denise, they're probably not going to be able to tell you much more. They weren't in the room when it happened.
All right, I'll talk to Madame.
They only know as expected.
I'll talk to Madame.
Okay.
Maybe she will betray her son.
Yes.
I have a question about
Come closer.
Oh, sorry. I have a question.
Please.
Did your son... No, I won't word it like that. Your son's wife.
Oh.
Could you tell us?
Yes.
Could you tell me about how she died?
Oh. Well, it's all very easy for a reporter such as yourself to access. This is all on the record.
Oh, good point. Get out of here. No, you tell me more. Then I'll look at the record.
Oh, it was a tragic accident involving the stairs in this very house.
How did she fall down the stairs?
Well, anyone can have a bad day, sadly.
Can I look at these stairs?
They're stairs.
Yeah, fair enough. There was no suspicion of foul play?
What do you mean?
I mean, was your son, because he's so attractive to women, having multiple affairs which made his wife angry, so she confronted him, he pushed her down the stairs, she died, seemed like an accident, then later on Virginie discovered it was a real killing and has now killed your son in revenge, is really the question I'm asking.
I don't believe that's true.
I'm just grasping at straws here, lady. Had anything happened? Were there any arguments or discussions before her death?
Well, look, I did not know her remarkably well. This was her house at the time, you understand. And she was so very kind as to let me reside here.
If it was her house and she was going to divorce her husband, was that a thing you could do back then? Would she have kept the house and he had nothing?
I believe we have had it mentioned before he married wealthy.
Okay, hold on. We're going back in time. Well-known women loved him. So he probably had affairs. And he hated the church. And she maybe didn't. I have no idea what her opinion on the church was. But he's having affairs. She finds out. She says, I'm going to divorce you. He is then faced with, oh no, I will have nothing. I've married into wealth and I've become accustomed to a certain level of living. So he kills his wife in anger by pushing her down the stairs. She dies, he inherits the house. Everything's coming up Paul. Virginie thinks this is a tragic accident, but at some point she finds out that it wasn't. So she now has a motive to kill Paul because he killed her cousin. She doesn't seem to be acting on that motive, and she seems to keep talking about how cool Paul is, so I don't know. But is that anything? It could be something, but it isn't something. I don't have any actual evidence this is what happened. Can I look at these papers? She said it was well reported on.
Oh, if you want to do the research,
Did they just say she fell down
rich woman died.
Yeah. Are any of these the people you wanted me to have one more conversation with?
You could potentially get it out of this conversation, but it actually wasn't.
What did I know about these new workers, Jeanette and Felice? Jeanette, they're both new hires.
Mm-hmm.
Felice loved to travel? Yes. And Jeanette had a political discussion. What was Jeanette like?
No, she overheard political
Oh,
discussion.
she overheard dull political... Oh, because she was a bit of an eavesdropper, right? maybe she overheard something about some secret? What was she over here? And why would that cause someone to get death by chocolate? Oh, I can't. I'm Poirot-ing, but that's a bad thing now. Oh no! What's the last step? What am I missing? Is it Jeanette or Felice? Do you think I should talk? No, don't tell me. Don't tell me. I don't know what's up with this swapped chocolate box thing. Hey, Jeanette.
Yes?
Do you go down and pick up supplies from town? Who does that?
Sometimes, but that's usually Felice's job.
Great, get out of here.
Okay.
Hey, Felice.
Yes, the one whose voice I cannot do.
Yeah, that was right. It was started French, then turned
Yeah.
nothing. Turned Australian, I suppose, if you like. If you don't consider Australian to be the default. On the recent time.
On the recent time,
Did you head down into town and pick up some supplies? Is that your job? Is that your
Yes,
purview?
I do that sometimes,
You
yes.
picked up some medication.
Yes, I went to the 2 chemists and I brought medication.
To the 2 chemists?
The local Belgian chemist, the one where they speak French, and the more large English one. Yes.
You picked up stuff from both?
Yes, of course.
Obviously, so from the English chemist you picked up a
Well,
bottle
that was specifically for John Wilson because he had an English prescription. So that made sense.
And what were you picking up at the Belgian chemist?
Well, that's where we buy the more normal things for the household, where people just want their aspirins, that exists, right? Their vitamins, Madame D's medication, that sort of thing.
Ooh, Madame D's medication.
Well, yes.
What medication does she take?
Oh, well, I don't know if I should say, but it's nothing. It's just atropine. It's for cataract.
Oh, what is atropine? What is atropine? Can I call the chemist and ask what
Sure.
atropine does? Hey, chemist. Shut up, Felice. Chemist.
Hello! This is a different chemist now.
Oh, yeah, you're right. This is the Belgian one.
Hello!
This is
What might I be able to do for you?
This is Danny's Belgian accent,
Yep.
by the way. What does atropine do?
It helps you put it in your eyes for cataracts.
What does that helps you put your eyes for cataract?
You put it in your eyes to help your cataracts.
And what does that do?
It makes your cataracts less serious. It
If
makes you able to see a bit better. Probably not much better, but better enough.
Do they come in drop form?
Yes. Liquid.
This felt like a real important clue to follow, but
Mhm.
now I just know that someone has eye drops. How does this help me? You drop it in their eyes. If you had atropine, okay.
Mhm.
I don't know. Listen, everybody, I don't know how we're going to get there, but if you had atropine drops in your eyes, would it be hard to tell the difference between a blue and a pink top of a chocolate box?
Well, atropine would ideally slow the progression of a disease that would make that so.
Oh. She has cataracts. She can't see. She doesn't know how to swap the box of chocolate with the box of chocolate.
You've had a long discussion with her about age-related long-term degeneration. She also did just ask you to come closer when you were talking to her.
Okay, new fact. I'm writing new fact in my notes. Mum can't see. Okay, Mum can't see. Mum can't see. This is my new fact. Which means, of all the people who cannot see, someone who cannot see would be the one who messes up the chocolate box tops. She has swapped them poorly. She was the swapper. I still don't know the method here, but then how does she get her hands on Wilson's Pilsons? Felice,
Yeah.
when you delivered all these medications,
Mhm.
Where did you put them? How did you bring them in?
Well, usually I just put them on bedstands. But I don't hand them directly to the person, if that's what you're asking. Is that bad? Should I be doing that?
No, that's fine. And then it was from his bedstand that Wilson accused you of losing his pills?
Yes.
Or
Breaking
breaking
the
them?
bottle, yes.
Breaking the bottle.
I know.
He said breaking the bottle because there was some extra pills on the floor. The whole bottle didn't go missing necessarily. There was a spillage. and he saw a spilt pill. So he said, my bottle must have been broken. What a weird accusation otherwise. Because when the shaky-handed old woman opened the bottle to steal some pills, she shook some out and she didn't notice they'd fallen because she can't see. She then takes the handful of pills, where one has fallen, this is why he thinks broken, puts the bottle in a nearby coat, which happens to be Skrongo's coat. Maybe she thought it was Mr. Wilson's coat and she can't tell because she's old. This old lady doesn't know how to do anything. She's got a handful of pills. She goes in, she opens up the chocolate boxes. She puts the pills in the old box, knowing he finishes the old box first. You know, inside the chocolates there. But then when she puts the lids back on, why would she take the other lid off?
What must have happened?
Because you would just take the lids off that one, stick them in, put that same lid back.
Sure.
Unless she knocked them over.
Clearly both lids had come off at some point. So it feels more like that the pink one got opened first.
Opens the pink one, puts chocolate... No, but it's full.
And just to picture the situation, 2 chocolate boxes, basically identical to each other, next to each other.
You open them both to see what's going on in either one, see which one's new, which one's old. See which one has a few left and which one's full.
Or even just picking one at random and then going, whoop, nope.
Okay, so then she tries to fix the problem. At what point does the chocolate box get thrown out? Not before he eats them.
No, the next morning.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So she's messes with him, figures out the situation, looks in, puts the pills into the one that's almost empty so that he'll finish those, puts them back on. He does finish those, doesn't start onto the new chocolate box.
Because he's dead.
Because he's dead. This one gets thrown out. And then and that's it, that's crime done. Bad vision and shaking hands
But
leaves all the
why?
evidence. Because she loves the church, Dani.
That's a bit of a wild
And
reason
her
to kill
son
your son.
killed his wife. Her son killed his wife. She loves the church. Was she definitely trying to kill her son?
I mean, there were only 2 people that ate chocolate in the house.
Trying to kill Virginie.
Well, I don't know what happened with Virginie on the night.
She was up there with Madame.
Yeah, Madame D specifically called her upstairs
To not kill her at all. To keep her safe.
to make sure that she
To make
was
sure
as
that
far
she ate
away
no
from the chocolates as possible.
So she wanted to kill her son desperately. Why does she want to kill her son? Because she loves the church. Because he wants to separate the church and state. Because he was going to kick her out of this house that she now owns.
Why
But
would
that's
you
a
do
bit
that?
wild. I don't know. Because he
Why
was
would
going to
you do that?
get married. And therefore, she was going to leave the house. You can't have your mother live with you when you're married. Yes, you can. Why is she killing her son? Killing her son's a pretty big deal.
It is a pretty big deal.
Why does she want to kill her
Mhm.
son? Because he was going to kill her.
She probably doesn't have any reason to think that he'll kill her, but
Some other woman? Women love him. You love Virginie, and you don't want Virginie to get involved with him, so you kill him? Because he killed his wife.
Yeah,
Because she was there.
she was there.
Well, then just tell me that he killed his wife, lady. Okay,
No one will believe her. She's an old lady with failing eyesight.
cool. So it was about him killing his wife. He's a killer. And then over the years, she thought like he might do it again. Virginie's clearly falling for him.
Not only might he do that again, he is literally on the cusp of gaining national power. This
He's
is
a
not
monster.
a person that should be in national power.
And he hates the church. So she says, my son, he's going to kill again. He's a monster. He must be stopped. I know. I'll stop him with chocolates. Shaky hands, drops a chocolate. He therefore says, why did you break my bottle? Because he saw a chocolate on the ground. Not a chocolate, you know what I mean, a pill. She goes in, she looks at the chocolate boxes, she gets confused and cataracty, putting them back on. She puts poison in the box, he eats the poison, he dies. The next morning the box is thrown out. The son is dead. Long live the sun. The evening sun. The paper that I'm going to start right now to write up this denouement.
Well done.
I did it! I solved it! I'm better than Poirot! All you need to be better than Poirot is a person at your shoulder telling you this is how good Poirot was and he screwed it up. Okay. That was fun. That was good. This is the Autopsy. Welcome, everybody. I'm your coroner, Bill.
I'm your physician's
Yeah,
assistant. That's not what you call it.
I'm your local Belgian chemist, Bill.
Yeah, that.
Welcome to the Autopsy. We're going to talk about what we just did, which was solve a mystery that not even Poirot could solve. So you say that in Poirot's version.
Mhm.
He got my wrong thing when I guess it was a lard.
Mhm.
Then turned up to
He
to
goes
accuse
to
the
the
lard.
he goes to the house basically, and Madame de Roulard says, "Hey, what you got going for you?" And he says, "Well, I'm about to go tell the police that a lard did it." And she went, "Well, that would be stupid of you. It was me."
And then she just says, "Here's what
Yeah.
happened."
And then she says, "I'm an old lady. I'm dying. I'm sorry."
And how does he feel about that? Embarrassed?
Oh, well, in a Poirot-y sort of way. He says, so, my friend Hastings, if ever you think about me getting a big head, simply say the words chocolate box and it will rein me in. And it does not.
Okay. Does it happen in later books?
No. Happens literally 2 paragraphs later in this story.
Oh.
And he's already forgotten and doesn't understand.
All right. Fun. Well, look, it was great. It was fun. It was a nice little compact mystery.
It is challenging still with these short ones because there is so much detail that the stories do not have. Like, I don't know what anyone's job was, not even de Roulard. Paul de Roulard described him as a deputy who was all but promised a prominent position in the French cabinet. I do not know what sort of deputy we're talking about here.
Would it be a cabinet deputy? Like he's the deputy minister for finance?
I truly don't know.
And he's going to become minister of finance?
Couldn't tell you. It didn't give me that detail.
That seems reasonable. All right, if you're a deputy.
I don't know.
But I think we can read between the lines.
I would have assumed politician at the very least would be a word that got said somewhere.
I don't know. I think if you're a deputy headed for a cabinet.
And yeah, John Wilson was here on business.
But
don't know what business.
business.
Don't know really how good friends any of them are. John Wilson says, yeah, I don't know him that well. And that's it
but
for
you're
either
still
him
here at
or
his
a
house.
lard.
Yeah, sure. All right.
I don't know anything about any of their relationships with each other, whether any of them know each other.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. And it's hard because you don't need that detail in a short story because when it's not going to get asked about. It's not going to be relevant. But I don't know it's not going to be relevant, so who knows what.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to not ask it because, like, what if you're going to sit there and be like, why didn't you ask what job it was? And I could never say, I assumed it wouldn't have been in the short story. It would be if it was relevant. So I just got to ask.
Yeah. In the short story, she did deliberately. Her Madame D's eyesight seems like questionable. Like, I wondered how she pulled any of this off with eyesight so bad that she can't tell pink from blue.
Yeah, your cataracts are so bad that once you've picked up 2 box lids, there's no way of knowing which one goes back where or what color they are. But you can still pick up a bottle of pills, know it's the right bottle of pills, open it, put it, put them inside individual chocolates by hand.
That was very curious.
Shaky hands to drop pills. But is that true? Is that right about the broken bottle part?
It doesn't specify that even a little bit.
Come on,
just
that's so
saying,
good though.
I don't know what medicine bottles were made of, whether they were just really precious glass back then. Quite possibly.
Probably
No, it doesn't.
glass.
It doesn't go into any detail like that.
Because I think that's a really good point. I really like that.
That's why I didn't do anything about it.
Why would he say broken? He must have seen some spillage.
Monsieur de Saint-Alard, as far as I know, has no color blindness, but someone had to have a bit of color blindness, I guess, and why not just keep adding the sus to him?
Okay, so
there was no colorblind test going on in the short story.
Poirot didn't find a pink piece of paper and a blue pen and write "you suck" on it? Are you saying that wasn't part of the original? Because that's a key part of my case.
I know, it really was. It was interesting to try to deal with. And then I just went, yep, sure.
I never
Alard,
showed it to Madame.
You didn't.
Were there? Because this feels like the sort of thing that you would have been doing even before this episode. This episode, you had her say, "Come closer, I can't see very well," without those exact words. Were you doing that in earlier mentions of her? Were you dropping hints about her lack of vision that I didn't pick up on?
Nothing too specific. In fact, at the start, I did have a moment of, oh crap, I hope I didn't say anything about her, like, reading, and I did do that, didn't I? I said she was in the library, and then I paused and I went, nope, she is sitting in just a room looking out the window.
Right. I don't know if it would have made the episode, but there was a moment. Maybe I'll deliberately keep it in where you started to say she was in the library and then stopped. Maybe I should make that a clue and leave it in the episode.
And then just things like she needs a lot of help. Just people suggesting that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It was good to be able to talk. It was one of those great moments where the question I need to have, or the conversation I needed to have was, look, you've learned a thing, right? You've learned a woman picked up some medicine. That in itself is not a fact you need to question, but it is a thread that if you follow, you might find out something else. And so, like, because I think, what can I find out about her picking up John Wilson's medication other than that, she picked up John Wilson's medication? And the question was, instead, it was, hey, you picked up his medication. She went, yeah, I picked up a couple things.
Mm.
Oh, interesting. What was the other thing?
Definitely.
And I think
Poirot in the story did it the exact other way around. He went to the Belgian chemist to say, hey, anything that could be a poison made its way into the house lately? And he said, well, I guess atropine technically. Here are its symptoms. Nothing like what he died of.
But the atropine existing
relevant.
is relevant that went into the home.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun. It was like the wrong question gets you the right answer. And I think it's good to remember to do that in these murder mysteries where sometimes there'll be info. If you just get someone talking, you might be able, like, you'll find new info from the stuff that they just take as written. You know, they're just like, oh yeah, no, so of course I went to both chemists and I da-da-da, and you have to go, wait, ooh, both? Why both?
I was definitely wondering how we were going to bring it back to his former wife because that hadn't been mentioned since the beginning.
I was glad to talk to Virginie again.
I was very surprised that in episode 1 when I said, cool, he had a wife, they married, and she died pretty soon into the marriage.
Yeah, for some reason I didn't follow up on that.
Yeah, not really.
I did eventually.
Yeah.
By episode 3.
It worked great. Yeah, it's only 3.
Episode 3 in any other mystery, I wouldn't have
still the
even
beginning.
started talking to people yet. And I'm solving it.
You did. I also appreciate that you talked to Madame de Roulard very early. So coming back to her as the murderer
for all those people who say I never speak to the murderer and are often right because it takes me too long to speak to the murderer. I did it this time. Did you pick up that she was the murderer? Did you catch Dani saying that she wasn't in the library and therefore solve the whole thing immediately? I don't think so.
Yes. Actually, in my notes, one thing that I had suggested to myself was maybe Jeanette clearly likes Madame D. Maybe she did steal Wilson's medicine for Madame D and won't tell. But that is, again, not specified in any way in the book. But I had that as a possibility.
Yeah, that it could have been that way if I had figured, if I started being like, but how could she steal medicine with her old eyes? You might be able to add that into as a mechanism that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's fair. Is there much you ever do that with? Like,
with the short ones, sometimes I have to because that's they don't answer obvious questions that really need answering.
Can you think of any examples you've done of that in previous ones?
What previous ones have we
$1 million bond robbery.
Yeah,
right.
No, I can't remember
Victory
off the top
Ball.
of my head. Victory Ball, absolutely. I have no idea the swapping between costumes business. There was no indication of how that was taking place. Like, were they wearing it over their current costume, under their current costume, in a bag? It had lots of questions open for me that I didn't know. And it seemed really important that I know.
It's true, because obviously for this one, there was a lot of me trying to talk through and walk through the mechanics. I got so obsessed with these lids. These chocolate box lids.
And as well, you should have. It's called the chocolate box. And this was the thing that stumped Poirot for the whole thing.
And it turned out it was just because it was a blind woman.
Yeah, it is still very peculiar that she went into the room, she took the lid off a box, was able to see, oh, nope, that's the full one, doesn't replace the lid, goes to the next box, takes its lid off, puts it right next to the other lid.
Shuffles the two lids for a while so she loses track.
Shoves some poison in some chocolate and then puts the lids back.
Yeah, very strange.
Odd.
Yeah, because that was my big thing. It was like, clearly this is something, but what possible explanation could there be that would make this happen?
Yep.
And in the end, it was just sort of a hand wave. She can't see.
Yes.
Don't worry about it. She can't even see. But yeah, very odd. You feel like you'd be able to see a little bit that they're very distinct colors.
I agree.
Like if you
I haven't
smudged
had
up
cataracts,
my eyes,
but
I feel like you'd still be able to tell. Maybe but you're right. Maybe not. Maybe it's like the thickness or this thing that a cataract is like, oh, those two wavelengths of light become really hard to distinguish.
Maybe she doesn't have cataracts and she's got some other serious eye condition and that's why the atropine isn't helping.
Maybe she doesn't have eyes. But no, look,
did anyone ever ask?
That's true. I liked it. There was lots of motives going around. Lots of like, here's the church, here's the steeple, here's the people.
The idea of Paul having affairs is also not in the story. They do say at the start that that his vice is a little bit lechy, and Virginie definitely was in love with him. That's it. So yeah, the idea of he killed his own wife just because he's a sociopath who wanted money seems to be the impression that I got from it.
He has money. He married his wife.
So yes, the implication that he didn't want a wife. He just wanted money and a dead wife.
To get across.
Yes. But in general, I think you tied it up all good, like.
I felt pretty good. I feel pretty good about my performance in this one. I hope people enjoyed it. It was good fun. It was short. It was nice. It was sweet. It was cool.
I'll say his face turned red and down he went, I think might be the only line that John Wilson gets. And even then it's like in inverted, it's in quotation marks, so you can tell it's a direct quote, but I'm not sure if we ever actually see talking to him.
Wow. I liked John Wilson this one. He was great. I liked his complete taciturn approach to being questioned by the newspapers.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed listening to another quick, fun adaptation of a
Just
short story.
A nice little...
Finish the sentence.
What's like an amuse-bouche, but that doesn't definitely imply that something bigger is coming real soon after?
Finger food.
Okay. I hope you enjoyed this finger food.
A little bit of finger food. That's the translation of hors d'oeuvre. What's the translation of hors d'oeuvre?
Well, the oeuvre part is
eggs, right?
I think it's like work.
Oh, work? It's not... Oh, like an oeuvre.
Yeah.
I think it's eggs. I think it's horse eggs. I think the translation is horse eggs. I hope you all enjoyed your horse eggs. Thank you so much for listening to the show. If you'd like more things, we have an entire second show called Escape This Podcast if you haven't checked it out. If you want to see us solve more mysteries...
Well, escape rooms are full of mysteries.
Why don't you go to YouTube and check out Play This Game Archive, where we've played every single Nancy Drew game. We're currently, depending on the timing of this episode releasing, we're currently solving the Seance at Blake Manor. There's a whole bunch of fun stuff. If you like us solving mysteries and doing puzzles, there's heaps of content on YouTube of us playing those games. And if you really want to support the show and see even more stuff, check out the Patreon. We've solved every single 2-minute mystery by Donald Sobel ever written. We've been solving Encyclopedia Brown stories.
And when these murder mysteries get posted, they are all put up there immediately, so you don't have to wait week by week.
Yeah, you could have had all 3 parts on day 1. But either way, thank you so much.
Murder mysteries are really good to binge because you don't forget anything as you go.
That's true. I hope you all enjoyed the show. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Solve This Murder. To submit your own guesses for whodunit, send an email to solvethismurderpod@gmail.com. We read every theory we're sent and award the greatest sleuth with a place on our wall of detectives. To support the show, you can sign up for our Patreon and receive weekly bonus episodes, monthly videos, and full access to all parts of new Solve This Murder mysteries on day 1. Thanks to all our patrons for supporting us. Thanks to Advanced Sagebrush and Shootouts for our theme music, and thanks again to all of you for listening.